My name is Adeola Adefemi. I teach in Okido Senior High School, and it's a mixed school. We call it secondary school here. So it's for students between the age 14 and 16. Basically, prior to the pandemic, everything was done traditionally. We had a traditional classroom. We also incorporated technology as well, but it wasn't as great as it is right now because then a student is not allowed to bring any form of what's it called, a phone or a tablet to class. Even if you have to bring it, you have to drop it at the gate or give it to your teacher and take it when you're leaving. So it was basically the traditional classroom. You can explore the internet, use everything as a teacher, but not the students. So the students were to sit in the class and look. And thankfully, so during that period, I won the Fulbright teaching excellence and achievement award. So I traveled during the period, and funny enough, I was also there for the gender cohort. So I learned so many things when it comes to gender in the classroom, how to breach the disparity in the classrooms, out in our classrooms. And also I also learned some what's it called now, educational, how to use some education applications basically. So when I go back to Nigeria, I came back during the pandemic. So the first thing was to go on to go into isolation. But then it was that period, all the schools were told to go on a lockdown and they were closed. But what thing I did during that period was I had all my students' contact, but I did not have their parents' contact. And now not all of them had what's it called? Not all of them had a phone. But one thing I had their friends, so I started calling them. I put them together in a Google Classroom. So it was easy for me to just start teaching and just move basically to the Google Classroom. But one thing I noticed was that out of, let's say, 200 students, I could only get about 100 students. So that was the first issue. And I also had problems with some of my students because prior to the pandemic, prior to the lockdown, these were kids that had issues with their parents. These were kids that were being forced to get married. Some of them were being forced to get married, and some were having issues with being forced to do the female genital mutilations, and they had issues prior to the lockdown. So I couldn't contact some of them. I couldn't get them to, join the class. I couldn't get them to probably talk to them and encourage them during the lockdown. But the few I could get, I started training them how to use a Google Classroom. It was very difficult. It was pretty difficult. These were kids that do not even know to use major applications or even minor applications, and I had to start teaching them over the phone because we're not allowed to leave our various. So it was very difficult for me at that point. But at the end of the day, I got the students together, the few I could, and I told them to start going to their friends' houses within their areas, not to go outside because of they could get caught, and we could get so many of them to join the platform. So I had lots of synchronous classes and asynchronous classes just to get them to be a part of the learning. But after the pandemic, there were three things I learned. The first one was in my first project, which is the child not bride. It was before the lockdown. I concentrated mostly on, we don't want you to get married. Let's speak up. Let's talk about it through drama, through poetry. But during the lockdown, there was no way we could do that because you couldn't get them together to talk together. So when we resumed, when we go back to our various schools after the pandemic, I had to revamp the Child Not Bride Club. So I made it more of, now we were talking, like I donated because some of the stipends I got while I was in the US, I saved them, and then I could donate a hub for the students. And now in the hub, we had places that, okay, find these places for radio. You talk about everything concerning goals, about girls, and how to prefer solution. So it's knowing fully well that if we have another lockdown, these kids will be able to do it even from their houses. So it wasn't, let's gather together and let's make a poem, let's write a poem and present a poem. So they could talk from their various houses. But now we have a hub whereby they discuss these things and prefer solutions to whatever problems they're facing. And of course, during the period, they had a lot of issues. So it was the hub is a place where they can talk about it. And then there's also a place in the hub whereby it's for counselor. There's a counselor there who was free. The students are free to talk to her about everything. they can't even say to me, or probably they can't say out in the radio station. And then I realized that while I was in school before the lockdown, I was always buying sanitary towels for them. So this was something I'll just buy one or buy two. But during the lockdown, I discovered that these kids needed more. So it was beyond, getting them one per day or for the duration of their messes. So I had to start lobbying for. I had friends in the corporate world who were ready to donate, so we could get like 1,000 sanitary pads. I mean, in packs. So if anything should happen, I know I can go to this house, to their houses, and drop those things for them. So it won't be a thing of, oh, it's only when we get to school that we can have the sanitary towels and all that. So that was the part of the Child Not Bright. So I had to revamp it to Girls Aloud. So the hub is basically for girls, and it's it's not just girls in my school, because during the pandemic, we had schools that could not connect to to that, lost connection to that with their teachers, with everyone. So this Girls Aloud, we have all girls in the community. Any girl that is interested can join us in this hub and probably just talk about things they experienced during the pandemic, things they're experiencing in school and even in their community, and prefer solutions. So it gives them like this joy. The things I was finding difficult to make them, to push them or tell them to make them stay in school, with these Girls Aloud, they're not staying more, because everybody wants to talk over the radio, everybody wants to be a broadcaster, everybody wants to get their voice aired. Then for the other one, which is the other one I was doing, I mean the Secure Your Future and Every Child Counts. It's basically Every Child Counts is basically for students with learning difficulties. And during the pandemic, it was really difficult for me to get across to them, because most of the things we're using, I mean, for students that had maybe ADHD or ADD, were things we were physically using, they were physically saying. Now, that was when I knew I had to collaborate more. So it was beyond me. I couldn't do these things alone. I was doing this, I was doing that. So after the pandemic, I had to bring in more teachers. I mean, teachers that are really study special education in international schools in Nigeria. You can't get those teachers in normal schools in Nigeria. You can't even get them in most private schools, not to talk about government or public schools. So I had to get the help of this. I had to, beg them to come down to the school, or probably just connect to them on the internet to help with these kids with whatever learning disorder they are facing or will face in the future. And so this has also, helped me revamp the Every Child Counts. Then looking at the last one, which is Secure the Future, Secure Your Future. Secure Your Future, for me, I would, pick students, because in my school, in my country, primary school is free, secondary school is free. When it comes to tertiary education, you have to pay for it, and it's quite expensive, because I'm teaching in a school whereby many of the students are indigent. I mean, these are students that are fending for themselves. These are boys and girls that are probably the ones that are, looking for things to help their families with. So it was more of, okay, how do we help these kids before the pandemic? Or how do we make them, continue with their education? I would source for scholarships. I would take them to skill acquisition schools. But after the pandemic, I saw that getting them these things was beyond, oh, let me just give it to you. You need to teach them how to continue with this thing and probably expand it beyond, oh, I just want to go to school. I need this to be able to feed myself, feed my family, and also go to school. So now what we do is beyond, oh, getting them phones, like just phones for a while. I now get them equipment, like, if you want to be a barber, I get you what's it called, a clipper. If you want to be a tailor, I get you a sewing machine. And I don't do this alone. I have friends too that are supportive of this, and then we take these kids to skill acquisition centers to learn those things. And when they learn, we buy them those things to start up, basically. The pandemic showed that it just showed so many of my inadequacies. I was doing most of these things alone, not because I wanted to do it alone, but I was finding it difficult, to get teachers to align with this movement. But now, probably because I traveled, probably they see the importance of the Fulbright. The Fulbright is a very popular competition in Nigeria. Oh, sorry, popular organization in Nigeria. They know about it, so it's giving me leverage to get to meet people that matter. When I say matter, I mean stakeholders in education, and so people are interested. I mean, in a part of this project. So I would say the pandemic was a mix of a blessing and whatever. I don't want to call it a curse. So I would say it's a mix of a blessing, because now I saw the inadequacies and I could really, maybe close, and I'm still closing the gap to this inadequacies. But the one that I would say has really helped me, or the one I feel that really stood out for me, would be the Girls Aloud. The Child Not Bright, I revamped to Girls Aloud. What it has done within 6 months now, it's beyond what I can, put into this clip. It's I see my girls, I call them my girls. I see them, standing up, talking and changing things in the school. We probably I don't want to, like, okay, let me say this. Proud to this, they don't go for mathematics competition now. They're going out because those are one of the things, or sorry, this is one of the things they said that they don't like about the school. Like, they feel people see them as inferior. And another thing they raised during their talks, one of their talks, is the fact that in school everybody put them in the box, and it's also pushing them to be quiet in class because they see them as, oh, you're inferior. And that's why they say, why are you running like a girl? Those are some of the things they talked about. That why are you running like a girl? Why are you chewing gum like a girl? And these are things that make them just keep quiet and shush in class and don't really want to talk. And we have about 5,000 students in the complex, so they can hear this. And so you see when a girl is talking, oh, I'm a girl and I'm going to do it like a girl, and I'm going to do it well because I'm a girl. So the sense of pride, the sense of achievements that's given to these girls is something I'll always be proud of. And so I would say the pandemic has helped, and the changes are something that I will always remember.